Well, hello, and welcome to Stop Let's Team Up, My Legion Adventure, episode 57. I'm excited to talk about these two comics because I had a great time reading about them. But let's get started quickly because we've got two stories to cover, like as always. We're going to start with Adventure Comics 355. Wait a minute, didn't we do 355 last week? We did. We did the Adult Legion story. There were two Legion stories in that issue. The second is a 12-pager called The Six-Legged Legionnaire, and it's another Insect Queen story with the Miss Lana Lang. So let's get started with some of the basic information. Again, it was April 1967 cover date. Credits Mort Weisinger, editor, plotter, scripter, the amazing Otto Binder, Curt, Swan, George Klein on the art with Milton Snapman on the lid. Roll call: Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy, Shrinking Violet, Superboy, Dream Girl, Invisible Kid, Light Lass, and Bouncing Boy. Guest starring Lana Lang as the Insect Queen. The villain is Ogre Khan. Only appearance to date. I'm using the Illustrated Index of Legion of Superheroes, issue 4. And now, wait a minute, let's move on to the synopsis. Because Lana Lang refuses to watch when she catches Superboy switching to a secret identity, he rewards her by taking her to a Legion meeting. Changing to her costume identity of Insect Queen, Lana tours 30th Century Metropolis and, after meeting Dream Girl, decides to apply for Legion membership. Since her powers come from a biogenetic ring, however, she is disqualified. The Legionnaires are then summoned to Antarctica, where its ice city is threatened by the ruthless criminal Ogre Khan. Despite Dream Girl's prediction that Lana will meet with tragedy if she changes into a moth maid, Lana comes along and helps the heroes when Ogre Khan nearly defeats them. In the course of the battle, Superboy is sprinkled with green kryptonite dust, and Lana changes into a sphinx moth to shake it off him. In the process, her bio ring slips off her finger and she is seemingly lost forever. Thus, Lana is trapped in insect form. After Ogre Khan is captured by the others, the Legionnaires search for Lana's ring until it finally turns up in the pouch of Superboy's cape. In gratitude for her assistance in this case, the Legionnaires vote Lana into the Legion Reserve. Woohoo! So we've got another Legion Reserve member. Well, I guess she's the only one now since Bouncy Boy's back on active duty. This is a fun comic. It's Curt Swan art, blah, blah, blah. Ross is going to go off on Swan Klein. It's amazing. I thought it was more a Superboy, almost like a Superboy story at the beginning, because it's Superboy and Lana and it starts at Smallville. But it's great. It's great to see Lana take kind of center stage. She's a hero throughout. Insect Queen's kind of a silly 60s kind of kitsch kind of hero. But it just works. I think it's fun. It's there's a lot going on. We're seeing a lot of small lineups of the team at this point, where it's kind of every issue has a different lineup, which I like. I really like it because you get to see different people. We hadn't seen Light Lass or Shrinking Violet in a while. This prominent, and it's just great. It's fun. She turns into a lot of different insects, which is kind of cool. They keep thinking of different ways. She is a good sport. She knows Superboy's changing, and she doesn't want to see who he is. What is she? She's a butterfly. She's a foam bug. She's a tent caterpillar. A human fly. Dream Girl's very cool in this. This is nice to see Dream Girl. I like her when Superboy flies her off. He wraps her in his cape, which is great. This is probably where the ring fell off. Or no, it's a little before. Ogre Khan's kind of a generic villain. It's not the greatest design. He looks a little like Terry Thomas. Google Terry Thomas, British comedian and actor. But it's great. I like it that she goes back to Smallville and she hangs her certificate up that says Lana Lang, member of the Legion of Superhero Reserves. And Superboy flies off. See? Nice little 12-page story, one chapter. Lots of fun. Let's move on to Adventure Comics 356, which is cover dated... Hold on, as I get to that, I'm a little behind. There we go. Cover dated May 1967. The name of the story is The Five Legion Orphans. It's a shorter story. It's just 13 pages. Cover art for this is Curt, Swan, George Klein, Ira Shop. Five heroes, Superboy, Element Lad, Mon-El, Dream Girl, Brainiac 5 are in the interstellar orphanage and they're wreaking havoc. And these aliens don't know that who they have. It's great. It's a nice little cover. It's a classic cover. I remember this one. It's been reprinted and shows up. This one is editor, plotter Mort Weisinger, plotter, scripter E. Nelsonbridwell, Curt, Swan, George Klein art, Milton Snap and letters. Roll Call, Cosmic Boy, Dual Damsel, Sun Boy, Lightning Lad, Invisible Kid, Brainiac 5, Star Boy, Superboy, Matter Eater Lad, Element Lad, Light Lass, Dream Girl, Colossal Boy, Shrinking Violet, and Mon-El. There's no big villain. We get to see a lot of the family members. We get to see the moms and dads of some of our siblings of some of the heroes. So let's do the synopsis. While their comrades celebrate Parents' Day with a parade and a banquet, the Five Legion Orphans, Superboy, Mon-El, Brainiac 5, Element Lad, and Dream Girl remain on guard at the clubhouse. An alarm reaches them from the planet Zenith, and the five speed there to investigate a stolen power crystal which authorities claim raiders have dropped into a deep pond before escaping. As Superboy and Mon-El search for the raiders, the other Legionnaires don masks and dive into the pond to retrieve the crystal. As they attempt to bring it to the surface, however, they find themselves rapidly growing younger. Superboy and Mon-El return and get the crystal themselves, despite Dream Girl's warning. They too soon become younger until all five are infants. As they play at the pond's edge, authorities remove the crystal and take the Legion children to the interstellar orphanage where various couples adopt them. Coincidentally, all their new parents live in the same neighborhood on the planet Basque. Brainiac 5's 12th level effector brain is still normal, and he searches his chemist dad's laboratory for a cure for himself and his comrades. He eventually develops pills and gives them to the Legionnaires, who quickly revert to normal. Their parents explain that all the children of their neighborhood died of the fallout when their moon collided with a radioactive asteroid. They soon came upon the scheme of causing the Legion orphans to become children and adopt them for their own, knowing that they'd be immune to the fallout. However, Dream Girl predicts that they will have children of their own within a year because the fallout no longer is dangerous. It's a little kitschy, kind of. I don't know how to describe it. It's. Did you ever see Rascals? It's a Next Generation story where Picard, Guinan, Keiko O'Brien, and Ensign Rowe turn into little kids. That's the closest simile, or Sid. But it's gorgeous looking. It's more Curt, Swan, George Klein art. It's a nice tight script. I mean, I enjoy Nelsonbridwell's writing of comics. He writes these very simple kid comics. He writes really for all ages very well. I'm not, it's just a really kind of neat, cute little story. The art's stunning. I mean, Swan Klein is just getting better and better. I like the aliens have kind of a Egyptian motif to their clothes, which is kind of cool. And each planet we go to, Curt Swan takes the time to create a new look. I'll post some of this. This issue is on the internet, is on the app, as 355 wasn't. So, but you get to see some other Legionnaires, Invisible Kids around. I like how there's so much detail in the backgrounds of this in a lot of ways for me. I mean, not like Terry Austin kind of complete details, but there's a lot going on in the background that there's just some neat stuff going on. And it's just such a well-crafted. I actually want to say, as much as I'm loving the Jim Shooter stuff, the two Bridwell issues, I think, have been the mystery and surprise story. You heard me gush on that because it's one of my favorite Legion stories of all time. This is not one of my favorites, but this one is so well constructed for its time, and it works. It just works so well, and it's short, sweet, a lot going on. I just like how Swan lays out a comic. I mean, there's a lot of talking, but it all makes sense. It just works so well, and this is kind of the perfect example of this era of Legion in a way that sometimes they're just entertaining little morals plays, little quick adventures. Kind of just a great break from the big 22-page two-parters, you know. But 357 is a single story, which is a long story. We get back to the 22-page, and then same with 358. And then we get back to another two-parter. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, folks, this is a quick episode, which is fine. Like 2 quick little comics. I hope you're reading along or have a way to read along. I know I don't go into uber detail when I'm by myself, but I just kind of want to give you my take on these stories and kind of share how much I'm enjoying this reread. We'll be back next week with 2 more Legion stories. And don't forget, next Tuesday is Opal City Confidential, a Starman podcast, and we'll be covering Adventure Comics 64 and Starman Volume 2, Number 3, which is the last part of the first arc. But this weekend, I'm recording with Billy D, and we're going to be talking Defenders, and that will probably go up this weekend. I had to cancel recording with him. He was nice enough. A friend, as I said in the last episode where I recorded, a friend's father died, and I felt, I wanted to go to the memorial. So, which he was gracious enough to understand. I appreciate that. But folks, I can't wait to talk Defenders with him, and we're going to be recording something for his show. I've got some stuff in the works with Ron to come back on the show. I'm looking forward to that. But check us out next week with our Legion adventure. And as always, be smart, be kind. Be smart, be safe. Please be kind to one another. And read some comics.